Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Art of Fine Dining. This is a day 1 of 5-day training, 6 hours a day. We are going to polish your skills, your knowledge and your language, and of course everything that will be helpful to provide excellent service to your guests and create unforgettable experience. I really hope that those 5 days will turn into a remarkable journey and they will transform your life. Alright? You will experience profound shift. Not just how you do your job, not just how you wait tables, but your entire perspective on the world. After the training, you will excel at your job. I guarantee you that. But you will excel at everything else you do in your life. Now, everything you learn here is based on science, research, and decades of experience. It's very important to understand and believe that when I'm telling you, but it's more important to believe in yourself, in your capacity to learn, evolve, and change. That's more important than anything else because this belief is the cornerstone of your path to success in life in general. When we're talking about fine dining, we're talking about personal presentation, polished movements and demeanors, polished language skills, technical skills on a completely new level, soft skills, and we're going to talk about what is soft skills and how you're going to achieve that, and of course, knowledge. All right? And the next chapter is going to be discussing every one of those aspects, and you will guys really enjoy the training because there will be a lot of exercise, there's going to be a lot of role playing, there will be a lot of storytelling, and I hope that everybody will participate really actively in the training. Excuse me. Now, when we are talking about fine dining and about doing business in general, the only way a business will grow and survive in our environment is if we exceed guest expectations. All right? So the first thing we're going to talk about is exceeding guest expectations. And this model is about customer service and how to improve your guest experience that they will really be wow and their expectation will be exceeded. That means you turn this guest into a loyal customer and they will be talking and raving about your establishment, bring new guests, bring new business. Now, what it means to exceed guest expectations, it means to go beyond the anticipated standards and to create a remarkable and unforgettable dining experience. That's what it means. Every guest that comes to the restaurant, comes to the hotel, they have already set of expectations. Now, the expectations for a 3-star hotel and fast-paced restaurants are just low. Expectations for a 5-star hotel and a fine dining restaurants are very high. So for us to exceed those guests working in a fine dining restaurant, we really need to be on top of our game. Another thing that is very important is consistency. It needs to be consistent. We need to deliver consistent service that surpasses our guest expectations all the time. Because all we need is to lay down our guard and just make a big dip into our performance. It's going to be much, much harder to get back on track and really impress this guest so he feels or she feels like we have exceeded their expectations. So consistency is really important factor. When we're talking about exceeding guest expectations, we're talking about cuisine, ambiance, and guest service working together. Because once the guests get into the restaurant, they want to see a beautiful restaurant. they want to test amazing food, and they want to receive a service at the highest level of hospitality. We have to work together. But it is true that exceptional service can enhance even the simplest of dishes. So, out of those three, the guest service is the most important factor of exceeding the expectations of our guests. Key aspects: personalization. So, this is the things that we're going to talk further down in this lesson. But to exceed customers' expectation, we have those key factors. We have to personalize our service. Every guest is different. Attention to detail. Every single detail matters in the fine dining restaurant. Knowledge and expertise. You will never be top waiters if you have not gained that knowledge and the expertise in anything you do. All the service procedures, all the meals that you serve, every single thing, you have to have the knowledge and the expertise. Seamless service. We're going to talk about what is seamless service and how important teamwork is to provide seamless service. Anticipating needs. If there's something that goes beyond and really exceed the guest expectation, is anticipating their needs. Don't wait for the guest to ask you for something. Anticipate that they might need this thing and offer it to them, and you will see the change in their mood immediately. Emotional connection. We are not robots, guys. We are providers of joy, and we want to connect emotionally with every guest in the restaurant to make their evening amazing. All right, so now we're gonna go and discuss every one of those key aspects in details, and you will understand exactly what we're talking about. Personalization. You have to understand that every guest that comes in the restaurant is different, and we have to adjust and tailor our service to exactly this guest habits, religion, whatever you can, age. We have guests that are families with kids. We have elderly guests. We have business people. We have young people in love. We have single guests. We have people that coming from Japan. We have guests that coming from Middle East. We have American guests. Every one of these guests have different culture, different habits, different expectations. And we have to realize that we need to provide a different type of service for them. What does that mean? You greet one American guest in a completely different manner than you greet a Japanese guest. When you meet somebody that you already served as today, and you know he's American and you know his name. Hey, Mr. Adam, good evening, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you. You shake the hand and you move on. But when you see a Japanese guest, although you have served them as today, you know their names, or you made a connection, you don't try to shake their hands. They're not used to that. You greet them in a Japanese culture. The same thing with the Arab guest. When you have an Arab guest on the table, would you suggest that they have a nice prosciutto? No, they don't eat pork. At least most of them don't eat pork. You gotta understand that. And when you're making suggestions, you gotta tailor your suggestion to their, culture. So that's what personalization means. And it's very important because it shows that guest that you care, guys. And there is nothing more pleasant for a guest in the restaurant to see that their waiter or waitress is really sharp and they care about their experience. Now, attention to detail. You have to understand, we do a lot of things in fine dining that you don't do in a upscale restaurant or just a fast-paced restaurant, a mom and pop's restaurant. And a lot of people say, all right, why would you do something like that? Because it is important. The guests that come into the restaurant, they are used to this kind of service and they observe you all the time. And they will judge you by every single move, every single performance that you give. So that's why it's so important that you pay attention to details. How you walk in the restaurant, how you hold your tray, how you pour your wine. Every single detail matters. So when we're talking about setting up tables, make sure that you really pay attention where the cutlery says. Do you have the 2 centimeters away from the edge? Is everything really polished? There's fingerprints on the glasses or fingerprints on the knife. All the things that you might overlook in a normal environment, a normal restaurant, in fine dining, that really matters. Because those people, they've been last week into another fine dining restaurant and they would just put you on the scale. How did this guy did compared to the waiter from the previous restaurant? And the next time they choose which restaurant they will visit, they will just see how did you compare to the previous experience and will say, okay, this was much better than Culinary Reach or whatever, and then just go to the other place. So that's why we pay attention to every detail. Knowledge and expertise. Can you be a top waiter without having the knowledge and the expertise? Absolutely not. You can bluff guests by being cocky, being positive, being smiley, being friendly. Yes, but when it comes time to really do the job in the highest level, you will fail. You will fail because your guests are knowledgeable. They know what is a New York steak, they know what is a prime rib, they know what is Burgundy wine and what is Bordeaux wine. They know the difference in most aspects in fine dining cuisine. And you have to know it too, so you can be on the same level or even higher than their level of knowledge. And that's how you impress those guests. I want you guys to know everything about your menu, all the dishes, all the ingredients in the dishes, where they come from, how is everything prepared, how long it takes. You need to know all those things. Then, of course, you need to know everything about your wine list. Every single wine, how does it taste, what it is, what it comes from, what vintages, what is the alcohol percentage inside. Flavors, aromas, all that matters because when you're standing in front of the guests, we are performing and they're watching us and they're judging us. And we need to be on top of our game. And without knowledge and expertise, that's not going to happen. So make sure that you are gaining more and more knowledge every single day. Seamless service. Now, seamless service comes with experience, knowledge, and then teamwork. Because seamless service means not so much how do you pour the wine, but what follows after that, and what follows after that, and what follows after that. And then, of course, we are not working alone. We have team, and how this team communicate. Do I need to tell my backup waiter all the time what to do, or I can just sneak, and they will know exactly what it's next, and what it's next, and what it's next. And that's why the steps of service are so important, that everybody knows exactly what is the next step of service and just go and perform it without much talking, much delay. Excuse me. So the service should be seamless. We cannot rush the service and we cannot be like slow and delaying because we don't know if that's right or not, or if that's what's followed or not. No. Seamless service comes with knowledge, experience, and teamwork. Anticipating needs. Like I said before, there is nothing more telling than a waiter who anticipates the need of the guest. You're bringing steak to the table. Now, putting a steak knife is not actually anticipating need. It's a service procedure that you should have prepared the table before bringing the steak with a steak knife. You should have prepared that already. Anticipating the needs is, well, maybe the guest will ask for a sauce, and we have those kind of sauces, and I can just serve the steak and suggest to the guest that I can bring sauce or what kind of sauce might he wants or she wants with her steak. Or black pepper. We have salt and pepper shake sauce on the table, but if you bring a fresh pepper with a nice juicy steak, that makes a difference. People understand that. Even if they go for the pepper and just tell them, excuse me, if you like pepper, I have something better. Just give me 1 second. I go get the big mule, just come back and grate some fresh pepper on the steak. The guests will understand that. That's what anticipating needs mean. All right? And the more you think about giving the best service and the best experience to this guest, the more you will anticipate their needs. And that will show at the end because they will really appreciate your service and you're going to get paid accordingly.